You just tuned in to Up for Discussion. All right, we are here up at Ultra Products this evening for Up for Discussion. This evening we've got a special guest, Matt Griswold.
Special.
He's ultra special.
Ultra.
So
Jesus says that.
That's right. We've also got Jarrett Smith with us this evening.
Jarrett Smith.
I don't know why I do that.
Every time I was like
Lewis.
that last time.
Golly. I was going to give you a fist bump.
I know. I was like, Jarrett
come on,
Smith.
give it to me. Oh, man.
Didn't you do that last time?
I
Yes,
did.
you did.
It's awful because I know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
We just had that Jared
We're just
Smith
gonna
that
go
comes in
with
the
it.
shop.
If
That's
your
right.
last name, if your last name means something back in the old days, you know, you got your name by, like, Smith probably was derived from blacksmith.
Right.
What's a Hutchcraft? What's a Musgrave? Right.
So we're glad to have both of them on this evening. It's going to be a fun evening. If you noticed, this evening we're talking about the Dark Continent, and that'll
I
be
keep wanting to
interesting.
say down under, but it's not
It's
that,
not.
is it?
It's not the dark continent.
Yeah.
It's not down under.
So tonight we're going to take a look at Africa and hunting Africa and what that looks like. Matt has been there how many times now?
Well, this will be my second trip. I was there
This'll
in
be your second.
2017.
We've had a few friends that have been there and had pretty successful trips, and Matt is one of those friends. So we're going to kind of talk over that and talk about what that looked like for you. If you guys have any questions, make sure you send those our way. We will make sure to get those to Matt, and you know, maybe you guys are interested in going. Hopefully this evening we'll answer some of those questions for you. So
Yeah. That'd be like number one for me, because the unknowns of getting there, hunting there, getting back,
Mhm.
what do you bring back?
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully cover all those wonderful things, because
Yeah.
I'd probably like to go. I'd probably like to start thinking about in the next few years.
This is a target-rich environment.
If Jesus don't come back and we're all still here, and it might-
Jesus is coming back.
well, he's
Yeah,
coming.
he's coming.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in the next 2 or 3 years. If
That's
you don't-
right.
If you don't show up here, as in the rapture, or if that offends you, the second coming, whatever it is, in the next few years, I would be entertaining the thought of going.
I got the guy you need to go with for sure.
Yeah, that's what we got
Yeah.
here.
So we're pretty excited to hear about that. So let's get started with that. So who did you go with, first of all?
We went with Xander Bierman Safaris.
Okay.
Xander.
Xander. We met him at the Louisville Deer and Turkey show at Paducah.
Right.
So-
The Louisville show at Paducah.
Oh, my bad. It was the Kentucky show at Smith. Smith, yeah, right. Yeah. So we met at the Kentucky show at Paducah.
Louisville and Paducah got together.
Yeah, I was getting ready to. I had just graduated with my master's from seminary, and started going on hunts when I'm celebrating big things in my life with my uncle, and we knew this was coming, and I was wanting to go elk hunting, which I still like to do, but the opportunity arose that we got to go to a different continent, shoot 4 animals for cheaper than a walk in a trophy unit. You can DIY
Right.
way cheaper than that, but
Sure.
yeah.
So you went.
So I went and going back.
Well,
So
what's
what did that look like for you?
what's the first step?
Uh,
I guess we could look at it like this. Say you're the guide or you're the
Okay.
outfitter, and I come to you. It's like, I want to go to Africa.
yeah, you make a grocery list basically of we've hunted plains game animals. So impala, Gims buck, I killed a warthog, I shot a big kudu, and you have to kind of what piques your interest, and a lot of that really seriously. You hear Africa and you hear the big 5, leopard and elephant and all, and people just back away because to shoot an elephant is about what I paid for my house. And people don't understand that. But there's lots of other very reasonable, when we were there, a warthog was $500. So when you're going halfway
So you
around
get to
the
pick your animals is what you're saying.
world, 100%. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And they're all price based.
So the first time you went, what did you pick? Do they just give you a list of all the
they
things
have
that,
Xander has packages, but
like armadillo? Like,
there's no
I want the
umbrellas.
warthog package.
Yeah, I did have
Akuma, a Matata.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes. Yeah. So when people come to our house, I have the skull, and like my warthog has 8-inch cutters on each side, and I tell them that's Pumbaa. So a lot of people that come over, they don't know what the animal is because we don't have them, and the only place that in America that has it would be Texas.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay more going to Texas than you would going to Africa.
I didn't realize that.
Because Texas, some people don't realize, Texas virtually has, not all, but a huge number of the Plains game
Very much so.
down there.
Yeah, but I will say, and I can't speak to this totally, but many places in Texas are high fence. What I hunted in Africa was 3-strand barbed wire like we do. If they have certain sections that are for breeding facilities only, they'll have high fence with electric stuff in it for Cape buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, animal called Black Death, you kind of want to keep on a leash. So,
So if they go to Texas, you're basically hunting a high fenced.
and
there may be some rules there just to keep them from spreading.
Yeah, and you got your guys down there have to charge that because they have to have all the exotic permits. So to have that animal.
Because
So
if you didn't have them high fenced, and when people don't realize what a high fenced property is, it may
I'm gonna help
be.
you out just a little
my
bit.
bad.
It may
It's all
be it may be hundreds of acres fenced. But
Sure.
essentially, in Texas, those animals can end up in Illinois.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Be amazing.
we
to
watched
wake
Send
up.
them on
It'd
up,
be
man.
pretty
Yeah.
awesome to
We
wake
wa-
up in a Gibbs box.
Yeah.
And
We watched an 1,800-pound bull eland clear a 6-foot fence like it wasn't even there.
yeah.
They can
Wow.
get in and out and through you, and they don't mess around.
So what's your prized animal this time that you're going for?
I have I shot a 55-inch kudu last time, so they don't measure in Boone and
Oh, that's a
Crockett.
baby.
Yeah, they measure in SCI, so that's SCI gold. That's what it starts at. And then this time, that's a spiral horn animal. So I'm going after an Inyala and a bush buck to add with my spiral horns. And if the opportunity arises, the eland would finish the slam for me, actually. So I would have all the spiral horns in Africa, but I don't
Is
know.
that what
the
that
plan?
is? That what that is?
Well, I told my wife that I wasn't going to shoot it because if I didn't shoot it, I'd have to go back and shoot it, and I have to go 3 times. So
Wait, there's other things.
You
yeah,
gotta play your angles.
yeah. But I would say the Inyala, they're very skittish. And they see all those animals see color. We hunt deer.
I was
that are
going to ask you,
colorblind.
like what camo patterns do you have to, work with over there?
Black.
Black for the blind.
Yeah.
But you can watch all of the hunts on TV that they film, and the guide has blue jeans,
Yeah,
elephant
they're not
leather
as-
shoes, and green.
They don't seem to be as caught up
No,
as we are.
we did not get out of the truck one time that they did not play the wind on a spot and stalk at all. Like we didn't even go after some animals because he said no. And their eyes are on certain animals that are way up, and they're seeing. Sorry, they're seeing.
So is that because they can smell that much better there?
I don't know their nose compared to a whitetail.
Yeah.
But I've certainly been caught by a whitetail more than once.
Right.
I'd
So when
say
you
so.
say you weren't setting on blinds, or you was setting on blinds,
Yeah, I shot my Impala the first day, and we were sitting over water holes. So people also have to understand. Last time we had left over 4th of July week, so it's 93 degrees when we leave Chicago. We landed in Johannesburg the next night, and it was 47. It's their fall, so the seasons
Or flip-flop?
are flip flopped. So
They're like a
and
whole
winter.
season ahead of us.
It's just totally opposite. So it's getting
gotcha.
ready to be winter now. So it's fall. So we're spring there and fall, and
So will you celebrate Christmas while you're there?
yeah, right after I shoot that in y'all and they put it on the barbecue.
Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah.
That's right.
The meat's fantastic.
What does it even compare to anything here? Or is it its own entity?
In Eland, they actually butcher a Gibbs buck. They butcher, they eat everything. There are people that eat absolutely all of it over there. And the Impala and the kudu backstraps were beef. They were better than deer. I mean, and I love deer, but yeah.
Did it taste like beef legit?
Yeah. I ate some. We played a game with Liana, and she's Xander's wife, and she's the cook. And she played a game because she got to know us, and she's like, would you guys want to try some stuff? And we're like, sure, we're game for that. She goes, well, we're going to play a game called I'm going to cook it, and you eat it, and then I'll tell you what it is. And we said, okay. I didn't know how that was going to go, but we ate giraffe is not bad. Ate giraffe. It's red. And they killed a bull there, a giraffe that was almost 19 feet tall and was 4,400 pounds. They're just
4,400 pounds,
massive.
Wow.
They bring the taxidermist to the field. I mean, there's nowhere to put it in a truck. I mean, but you can't fold it up. Origami giraffe
to the field,
dude. That's unreal.
Yeah, their femur bone is 6 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah, they have the same number of vertebrae as you and I do.
Just a little bigger.
Huge.
Just the size of my head.
Yeah. Stuff like that upsets a lot of people, don't it?
It does.
Oh yeah. The lady that did that got a lot of death threats. I mean, big time. And the thing is, people don't understand that giraffe, when they harvested it, she made a very humane kill, instant. And when they went to take the skin out, there was no teeth.
I was going to say
it's a breeding bull that got pushed out that was no longer a breeding bull, and it's a very not nice environment. It's going to starve to death.
Yeah.
So they use our money for the economy to boost it, and then with the meat that we didn't eat, they have a butcher shop, and they do select cuts for people around like we would do here.
Right.
And then we donated a couple 1,000 pounds to an orphanage.
Yeah, and I don't think most people realize the meat that's taken over there, the animal that's killed, that meat goes to tribes and to locals. And we look at all the starving people over there, and so many people aren't willing to give 10 cents a day, but they're willing to criticize you for hunting over there.
Yeah.
And people have to understand, like you said, that bull giraffe, it ain't like they're just letting people willy-nilly go out there and shoot giraffes and elephants. They're taking the one that's looking at the next year or possibly the next year and a half or two.
Yeah.
The environment around him's potentially going to kill him.
Absolutely. And that is a place where, it's not a good idea for us to go turkey hunting and back up against a honey locust tree. Everything they have is like a honey locust tree, and it'll stick you, bite you, cut you, run you over.
Well, it's just the other animals that want to eat him. The giraffe, when he gets old, he can't defend himself.
Right.
So it's a process instead of just senseless killing.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. And
the world don't see it that way.
No, they don't. And hunting is not the only thing that they see one-sided either. But it was really cool. We found out what they were going to do with that meat, and my uncle and I looked at each other, and we knew that it was going to go to those kids. And without hunters providing that meat, donating it, we can't bring it back. So that's the only way that those kids get meat.
Makes me want to go just for that simple reason.
My uncle said, well, what else do you want to go shoot?
Yeah.
So, but
there is legal reasons we can't bring it back, correct?
100%.
Yeah.
That they detox our boots when we come back. At the airport. And when I get my boots back, they'll be red from the sand and all the dirt, and pull thorns out of them for a couple hours. And
So you ate giraffe.
Yeah.
What else?
We had blue wildebeest bratwursts that were really good. And again, they taste a lot like animals that we have here, but gemsbuck and blue wildebeest impala is like shooting a young doe. I mean, it's really, really, really good. And obviously we shot all rams, so we were trophy hunting. So Xander does a good job at, he wouldn't let my uncle shoot a water buck because it was about an inch or inch and a half, almost like us passing whatever your take is on, if you want to shoot a 140, you can't do it by shooting a 136 or whatever he looks like to you. But he's in the blind. This thing's 25 yards and he's got 10 by 42s on it going, I can't let you shoot that animal because it will hurt his business. And he does a phenomenal, they're the best conservationists I've ever seen in my life. So
he can judge them that well then.
Yeah. Yeah. He told me before I shot my kudu that it was 55 inches. And I'm like, how do you,
and he was right then.
You know, I can't, a deer like that, I can't just hammer off and tell you, but I can tell you what he's not. He's not 150. You know, he's bigger than that. But they're like, it's 53, 54. That one's a good one. And I went, they look the same. He goes, they're not the same. I said, well, okay.
Huh.
So
that's amazing that he's that good at that. Because he's literally looking over tens of different types of animals.
Oh yeah.
So he's got to understand the scoring on all those animals.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's interesting.
Over and the 8 concessions that we could hunt, if you add them all together, you know, we're talking hundreds of thousands of acres. And you know, it's just an unbelievable vast place.
Yeah.
Did you have warthog sausage?
I've killed a couple bears in Canada, and out of hibernation, bears do not smell great. But warthogs took that to another level. We actually gave those to our guides. We tipped them with a warthog, which feeds their family.
This smells like back end of a skunk. You can have it.
It smells like warthog.
And the thing is, you know, with their economy, also when we went there, I had never seen poverty driving through towns like that.
Like that's there.
And they were thrilled. And they ate. When I say they ate all of it, they ate all of it.
Yeah.
And
so your guides, you gave the warthogs. So you didn't eat any warthog?
No, we did not. I did not.
It's just a hog, right?
I think those need to be marinated
for a long time.
They need to be marinated in ribeye juice.
Ribeye. That's like a new kind of gamey, you think, maybe?
Yeah. Like we washed them off, and then you get down behind it to take your picture, and immediately I stood up and walked backwards. It was.
Well, you wouldn't think they'd be something like a hog around here. Ain't all that stanky when he's out free ranging.
I think it's the I guess testosterone, and they're just so strong and musky that I mean they take a deer in rut, and I mean it smells like candy.
That's what I was going to ask you. So it smells like what?
Deer in rut smells like candy compared to that.
I thought you said candles. It's like he smelled like a good Yankee candle.
Good Yankee candle.
But so they're musky.
Yeah.
Smelling.
Yeah. Big old warts. They're not the most
I know
attractive.
that those ugly.
Yeah. We got ours European. So the European skulls look really cool.
So those things that are on their cheeks and stuff, where they get their name for warts, those are not on their skull. It's just like in the flesh.
Superficial. Yeah.
Superficial.
Yep. And they use that to age them as well.
They are ugly little fellas.
Yeah. The more bigger the warts that they have, the older. And you can.
Truth plays into a lot of areas. Oh man.
Yeah. But anyway,
so like on the bow aspect of things, like what type of preparations goes in for that? Do you have to change your setup for that when you go to Africa?
I did the first time I went, and I just haven't switched back. So I'm shooting deer with the
Where
same.
Where did you bring your bow to?
I brought it to Ultra Pro.
Oh yeah.
What are you? I mean, like as far as arrow weights, I mean, what are like? Do they tell you what you have to sit at? Do they tell you any of that?
They tell you that you need to have a good stiff arrow. What that means is they're looking for over 400 grains.
Okay.
And it goes to another level if you step into the ballpark of, hey, I want to go shoot a Cape Buffalo. The Black Eagles that I have, they're 515. And a 2-blade broadhead. I get to shoot expandables. They do let me do that. Because a couple of those animals are not that big and not that big a shoulder. But you're talking about driving home something, because in Africa, if you shot him right behind the shoulder, he goes a couple hundred yards and falls over dead. And if you shoot any animal in Africa behind the shoulder, you shot him right through the guts. You have to hit him here.
All their I know if you watch those videos, like we're programmed to aim right behind the front leg, and all those videos, you feel like, man, he shoulder shot him,
I intentionally practiced on a life-size deer target, which kind of saved my vitals for a little while. But I was punching him in the shoulder on purpose to train.
You got to move way forward, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you go too far, you do hit the big part of the shoulder.
Most of their shoulders have a Y bone, and it just kind of you can slip it in there. Quartering away obviously is the best.
So do you used fixed broadheads then?
I did last time. Yeah. Yeah. I'm taking both this time.
Why'd you shoot him in the Y bone?
Why not?
I just, anybody that watches Africa hunts, archery hunts, most of them, to what we're used to in North America, those are way forward shots.
Yeah, you can look at it if you're a deer only guy and go, ooh, he's not going to find that. Even if you see it sticking out quite a bit, if they punch through that shoulder, the animal's dead. Like,
does that mess with you in the whitetail woods?
No, I had to refocus back when I got home to shoot the vitals, and
halfway up behind the shoulder.
That's right. Yeah. And on some of those animals, it varies between a third of the way up or halfway up. And on the bigger animals, you have a bigger kill zone. A kudu has big lungs. You could probably get away with tucking it right there and being okay. And I end up shooting. I shot my kudu with a gun. I did kill that one last time with a gun because that was the next to last day, and I had sat the day before for about 10 hours over a water hole, and the bull didn't come in, and I stalked him for about 3 hours, and he was still behind some brush, and I said, "Give me the gun. I'm over here." I wanted that animal bad. So
that's interesting.
But that is different because you guys go out elk hunting, and if your archery season, it's just bow.
Right.
And for people that gun hunt deer or like to gun hunt anything. Around here, we don't get to shoot a lot of things with rifle up until last year with the 350s and for deer season. You get if you have a big gun in the cabinet, you can take it out and
do they even have like gun, bow, or they don't probably. No. It's just
it's either or.
The season's in, shoot it with whatever you want.
We always had a rifle. Xander is always armed. You have to be, but it's a equivalent to about a 308.
When you go, do you see a lot of lions, cheetahs?
I did not see any cheetahs. Those are like up in the Serengeti, up middle part of the continent, Sahara or around there. But like in South Africa, we were sitting in a blind over a water hole, and I was with Liana. She was my guide that day, and we heard a lion roar. And I said, "I'm done." I have a bow. If you don't know how big a lion is, they're incredible. And like I said, they're Christian people. And she commented on me, and she goes, "Let me get this out." And she converted the kilometers to miles. And she said, that pair of lions, I know where they are. That's a breeding pair, conservation stuff. And they are encaged. They cannot get out. And I said, "Well, how far are they?" And she converted it. She goes, "Those lions are a little over 3 miles from us." And she said, the reason in scripture that Jesus is called the Lion of Judah is because with that lion, within a 5-mile radius, he can be heard on perfect conditions. And anything that hears that lion within 5 miles understands that he is the boss. He is. Wow. And that's why. I was pretty, but I made her zoom in and show me where those lions were. I said, "I'm not." No. We got to see Cape Buffalo. We saw a 42-inch bull, which is big, 40s big.
Right.
He was massive. They're not in it. They're not ever in a good mood. They're named Black Death.
They wake up grouchy. They wake up grouchy every morning.
Yeah.
What's that joke that's on the Water Boy about the alligator? I don't remember what. Why is he so grumpy? Something about
didn't have a toothbrush big enough to brush his teeth.
Something like that.
I heard a preacher joke the other morning. I was listening to somebody, and they said, "Hey, did you wake up grouchy this morning?" He goes, "No, I let her sleep."
Oh man!
Anyway,
I'm not going there.
We do have a guy that asked about snakes.
Yeah, that's my buddy from Missouri. We did see a couple snakes. Going in the winter, it's very, very, very less likely to see the snakes. But he called us lucky because we saw one. But we did see a black mamba. Not something that you want to mess with. He was away from us. We let him go the other way.
Yeah.
And
Do they kill him?
Yeah, but we had a single projectile rifle, and I had my bow, and they can move at about 10 meters a second.
Yeah, I thought
So
they were really
they're
fast.
aggressive. Like if you mess with them, they're going to come after you.
Yeah, that equivalates to almost the speed of an NCAA running back.
That makes for good video. As long as nobody gets
my
bit.
uncle, my uncle and I joked, and I
Like
said,
if he turns and starts cutting.
yeah. When Xander radioed our guides, that they're back in the truck, and then they help us if we shoot anything. And I don't speak Afrikaans, but I absolutely understood every emotion that came over that radio. And but he's like, they don't. I mean, it's totally, we killed 2 puff adders with the truck while we were there on the road.
So what's a puff adder?
It's like a short, stocky rattlesnake, and they're supposed to have a really painful bite.
Are they in like the viper family, or because there's one?
I think they are a pit viper, aren't they?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mess with them. I did. I'm not a snake fan.
Matt is like, no,
is
not
a
going
viper
there.
a puff adder? I don't know.
Genesis chapter 3. I don't like snakes, but like we ran them over, and actually they were. I may get to see it when I go back. They were going to mount one of them, like on the wall, or get the skin out, and they're beautiful. And I just,
I'd like to go down to Florida and do one of those python
wrangles.
No.
Yeah, man.
You go
I
for
would
it.
do that.
Yeah,
No, you know I would do that.
I know you would.
That would
Let's
be
do
like-
it.
Is there?
I'll
Are
stick
they?
with Matt.
They want rid
listen.
of them.
Our wives would love to go to Florida and sit on a beach, and we could be wrangling snakes in the wilderness.
Sure.
Isn't there like bounties and all kinds of stuff on them now?
Troy
I think
Landry
it'd be awesome.
makes a living off of it.
How much could we make in a weekend?
Shoot them.
Yeah.
Shoot them.
You have to get them alive, though.
Man, I think I'd do it, man.
Oh,
I think I need to pray for you. That's nuts.
I mean, those snakes
crazy.
they're not even poisonous.
No, they're not. I just
No.
don't like snakes at all.
I mean, they got a nasty bite.
They do.
I've seen videos of people got bit by
Mm-hmm.
them.
Dude, that
I ain't messing
video
with
of
'em.
that one dude that gets bit in like somewhere in the arm, and he hits one of his arteries, and that guy nearly died.
Wow.
They got a pretty
Okay, so
nasty-
don't go to Africa or you'll die. No, I'm kidding.
So you saw black mambas.
I saw one,
One.
and it went away from the water hole. All of the animals were over here, and the blind set up to shoot here. And I'm like, why are there no animals right here? And all of a sudden we saw, oh, thank goodness it went the other way, and it hung out in the sun, and then it went off this way. And I thought, okay, we're cool. I want to leave. I want to go. Like, let's go drive around the truck away from here. And about 10 minutes later, my Gims buck comes around the corner from this direction, and I shoot him. Take a stab at which direction he ran. Towards where the snake
Right
went.
towards the mamba.
So it was funny because Xander was looking at my bow all week, and I said, "Hey, let me see your gun." And I grabbed it, and I made sure it was unloaded, and I grabbed it by the barrel, and I said, "Here, you take that bow. When we go look for this," he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I can swing this gun way more like a baseball bat than I can my bow."
Oh man,
Craig asked if the blinds have snacks in them.
Hey,
Craig would ask
it's
that
the
question.
best. It's the best blind snacks I've ever had. I think I shared this with Wes. Our wind switched one day, so it was going from us to the water, which is not good. And he took a manure patty and he lit it on fire. It was dried, and he put it behind us, almost like a scent wafer. It didn't stink, but it covered us. And I looked back behind the blind, and I said, "Xander, what are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm digging a hole." I said, "Why are you digging a hole?" He goes, "Make a barbecue." I said, "We're hunting." He goes, "Eh." And he put some charcoal down with a grate, and we had Gims buck burgers in the blind with tomatoes, lettuce, everything.
Cooked over manure.
No, the manure was separate. The manure was right behind us, and he was over here. And I said, "That's not going to mess with him." And he goes,
Those are 2 holes you don't want to cross.
No. But yeah.
So you had barbecue
Mm-hmm.
in the blind. How's that for you, Craig?
Yeah.
Barbecue in the blind. Those are good snacks.
It's a lot
That's a
better
very
snacks
good
than
snack.
when Team Clark Griswold was hunting up north of Mount Vernon.
That was going to be my next question. When Team Clark Griswold was together, what was the snack situation then like?
I mean, I was still on a pretty tight budget. It was probably jerky that I made.
Lots of Little Debbie's.
Oh yeah.
There was a time when Little Debbie's, for all those watching at home that are younger than 20, there was a time when they used to cost 25 cents.
Oh man,
you could get a box for 99 cents.
You could get the double jumbos for just like 50 cents or something like that. The double stuff, the big rascals like the fudge rounds.
Craig said he's in with the snacks.
Oh man, I still think we need to petition Little Debbie to make quiet, open packages.
I agree.
What would you do? Like a zipper?
Well, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying the whole wrapper has to not make that crinkly sound. So when you're sitting in the deer stand, you want to open your Nutter Butter or your fudge round or whatever it is. More of a silky packaging or something. Quiet, open packages.
So I need a couple things. I'm a big scale of 1 to 10 guy.
Okay.
Regularly, I do a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm not a fan of the 1 to 10 scale.
1 to 10.
So, okay, let's do something different.
No, I'm just joking.
Let's do 1 to 5.
Here's where I always get confused. Is 10 the best?
Sometimes.
10 being the best.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not doing that now. Forget that.
1 being the greatest.
What are the top 5 animals in Africa that you're like, if I could kill that, I would want to kill that?
Is
money no option?
If I could go hunt the top 5, and then rate each one of them best.
Would you do it based on what everybody seems to want money wise, or would you do it other ways?
And the Inyala would be on that list. But if money is not an option, I would love to be in a blind and kill a Cape buffalo with my bow.
They're
just
a Cape buffalo for me would be number 1.
Number 1 for me.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Like anything that is like.
But I want to kill him on my feet.
Yeah, they do spot and stop.
Slipping up on him.
It's a lot tougher with a bow because you're shooting into the side of bone. I mean, you're looking for that quarter and away, but most of the time, if they know you're there, they're facing you.
You probably don't shoot a lot of Cape buffalo with a bow facing, do they?
There is a shot there, but
no kidding.
You have to
have cojones.
Yeah, and you do have
hole, but their head's so low.
Yeah, sometimes if they puff up like this,
nobody's hearing you right now.
Oh, my bad. If they puff up like this right here in their brisket, top part of their brisket, bottom part of their throat, right there is open. Normally they don't do that. It's up to the guy's discretion.
They just kill you.
You seen that video where that guy's riding that Cape buffalo and the guy's shooting at him?
Yes, we watched that about 18 times last time I was here. He goes, "Did you do this?" I said, "Nope."
That's legit, dude.
But he's not gonna, and any guide over there is not going to let somebody that they have not seen be able to make that shot, shoot that shot. We have to qualify with our bow. We have to qualify with the guide's rifle because if something happens, you have to be able to help out.
To be the man that does it.
Yeah. So we had to qualify with his rifle, and we had to, scoped guns for me. I just have my shotgun that has a scope and a muzzleloader, but I don't have any big rifles. And
so when you say qualify, for the guy that's listening or the girl that's listening, what does that mean?
It means you go out and he makes sure that you can shoot. What's your effective distance? So if you can only shoot, or your eyes only let you shoot 20 or 30 yards, okay, you're going to be in a ground blind with a 20 to 30 yard shot, and he's not going to push you past what you can do. You don't want to spend 4 hours chasing something, and then, well, I can't make a 40-yard shot.
What's the furthest shot that they will let you take there?
I was not allowed to shoot an impala past 20 yards.
Really?
His reasoning was he asked for my feet per second, because an animal like that, a deer will just fall out and drop.
Yeah.
Impalas jump over your arrow. They can, in a split second, they can almost go 10 feet straight up to the bottom of their hoof.
Yeah.
So they jump you, But I shot my Impala on the ground at 14, and I shot my Warthog at 11.
So most of the stuff you shot was real close.
Real close. Yeah. I was going to, I had about a 55-yard shot on that kudu, but he was in some brush. And just like here, you wouldn't send an arrow through brush for just, arrow act up. But, it was about 55, and I had shown Xander that with my equipment, I can make that shot, I make a killing shot, and I had the setup to do it. But also in my mind, I'm like, I'm 6,300 miles away from home.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really want a kudu. And I just said, hey, give me the gun. So.
Oh, that would break my heart.
So
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah. Number one, Cape Buffalo.
That's your pick too?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be mine.
Mm-hmm.
Number two.
So we're all into the danger.
It would have to be.
Someone better have a gun right behind me, though.
It would have to be. They do. Yeah, they do. Big guns, 500 nitros.
Some people will still shoot the buffalo while you're on its back.
That's
riding.
right. That's right. Yeah.
If anybody finds that video,
Yeah.
I would have had a serious discussion with that one guy. Like, I want the buffalo dead as bad as anybody.
Yeah.
But when he picks me up and I'm riding him on his back and you're shooting a 500 or a 600 nitro straight at me, maybe let him get me pitched off and then let's start firing shots.
I think my number two would be my kudu. I would have loved to have shot it with a bow, but you have to weigh in a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to come home without
this. The kudu, are they, they're not an aggressive animal.
No, they're a plains game.
I mean, when
they are big too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about 600.
When you send an arrow into a kudu, I mean, he goes the other way to get away.
Absolutely, yes.
Where a Cape buffalo, some of them, you watch some videos, they just stand there and take it, and then they're looking for who to go toward. Now, a lot of times they do run away.
Yeah.
But so kudu's number two. What'd your bull weigh?
Probably.
They're called bulls, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably 550, 600.
About 550 to 600 pounds. So they're elkish in size.
Yeah.
I mean, a big elk can go heavier than that.
Yeah. Eland, which is the world's largest antelope.
You go ahead, man.
No, that would be probably my number three. They can get up to 1,800 pounds, and they're big. They look like a PBR bull.
They do.
Are they aggressive?
They even have the
big hump
on the back like a bull.
I would rather try to ride one of those than a Cape buffalo.
Have you heard JD Hewitt's story about killing the kudu?
No.
Oh man, it's funny because
I forgot they went.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was like some sort of crazy color. Like it was like white.
Huh.
And was it a kudu?
I think so.
So I know what your story is now, because he killed like an albino kudu.
He did a stalk on it.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were all like, oh my word, it's the white kudu, and he stalks up to the thing. And I mean, JD, God love him, he's not the stealthiest fella, And when he gets up there and he shoots it, and when they go up and find it, it's blind. Both of its eyes is just like solid blind.
Yeah.
Good stalk.
Yeah.
It's like, how come it didn't run from you?
Yeah.
I may be telling that wrong, but I know
it was in that vein.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was more detail, and maybe we added some or took from it.
So you're not interested in killing?
I think it was crippled too.
Again, that would be that's a lot of. It's based on my income, how I can save money.
If money's not an issue,
I mean, shooting a leopard with a bow would be something very, very, very difficult. I mean, you're at night. They do throw a light on them at night, but I mean,
that'd be cool.
Xander's killed one. They've killed one this year already, a leopard and a lion.
Really?
Both with rifles, but yeah.
How much do those cost?
7-8 grand.
7-8 grand.
That's not too bad.
For a leopard. And then that's just hunting.
What about a lion?
A lion would be like 80, wouldn't it?
25-ish, 30.
But
when we were there, there was a discussion about, and I have no idea. It was 17 prices, and I'm not looking on there to shoot a lion.
Right.
A big bull elephant's over 100 grand.
Yeah.
So
is that the most expensive thing over there to shoot?
Probably not.
Really?
Probably rhino. Then
Oh, I
they
forgot
do
about
have it. So we obviously, with our news coverage, we see all of the negative. One of the big negatives in Africa is rhinos are poached all the time. All the 3-strand fences are not to keep animals in; they're to keep poachers from driving to get to those animals. And anybody that's going to shoot the big 5, number one, has to be financially able to do that. But most of them now, they do green hunts, so they dart, and they have it. I believe they have it where you can dart with an arrow, so they can tip.
Yes, I've seen that.
They can tip.
You shoot
with your broadhead, and they put down,
and
but
tranks them.
Yeah, and you've got a couple scientists, which is really cool, and you do all the info on them, and then they give them a shot.
Picture with him.
Yeah, and they wake him up, and because that's a very
they wake him up.
Well,
when you're done.
Yeah, when you're done.
About time you take your picture.
Yeah, and it's not instantaneous. I mean, it
they
takes a
dart
while.
them and trank them, and then the scientists do their thing.
Yeah.
Take some
So
eggs.
you're not killing it.
No.
That's why they call it a green hunt. But a lot of
Gotcha.
times, what they'll do is they'll have a saw with them.
It's eco-friendly,
and they will take their ivory off, which makes them not valuable.
Yeah, worthless for
poachers. So I'm telling you, the conservation.
And with the rhinos, they nub their
second,
because that's what they're after. Is that whatever that is?
Yeah, they like the conservation side of anything that I saw over there was exponentially.
Well, have
wild.
you ever watched what they do to poachers over there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they cut their nose off just like
no, they don't write them tickets. They generally bury them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty serious over there if you're a poacher and they get caught.
Yeah.
They've got whole armies.
Yeah.
Essentially.
What is it? Carter's War that's on TV.
Yeah.
That's what
somewhat military units that are just to take care of the poachers. And it's like,
I mean, that's their lifeline.
Yeah.
If they lost those animals, they have no economy, like none.
Well, it's like stealing somebody's wallet.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned
except they bury you wherever they.
You mentioned earlier, and I don't care if you're going to go. Like I've got to hunt bears in Canada, and I've waterfowl hunted places and different things. The number one thing that I would say, there's hunts out there that are not going to cost you a mortgage of your house. I don't use any of this money that I go on these hunts. I don't use any of it out of my wife and I's budget at all. I coach. I use different money I get my coaching check. I tithe off of the gross of it, and then I save it. And if you want to do something bigger, it just takes you longer to save. But there are a lot of hunts that God created this huge playground called Earth, and I want to see about as much of it as I can.
Yeah.
And, but what we did is when we talked to Xander, obviously they give you a list of references, and that's the number one feet on the ground thing that you need to do. Don't just call the guy that was over there for 27 days and had an unlimited income and shot everything that he wanted to. You talk to the guy that didn't shoot his kudu until like day 8, or in bear hunting, he didn't kill one. Why didn't you kill one? And some of these guys that you talk to, it wasn't because they didn't have an opportunity. They were looking for something. Like if my uncle's killed every color phase of bear except blonde. So there's cinnamon, brown, chocolate, and black. And if he went to Canada, he's looking for like a Boone and Crockett bear, or he's looking for a blonde.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot
Boone and Crockett blonde.
They've killed one where I went. He was 7 feet 2. I think he was 21 and 3/16 skull. 21's Boone and Crockett.
So Robert Adams, he said to tell him about the video I sent of the guys wrangling the little kudu.
Yeah. So I played baseball with him in college, and he was just over at my house last week and finding some mushrooms together, and found a couple in undisclosed location, of course. But anyway, he sends me this video. He goes, "This is really how you guys do it." And there's this young kudu bull, and by young, I mean he's probably got 25-inch horns. They've got one curl basically. And he's walking down this road. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, oh, he sent me this picture of a kudu. All of a sudden, this dude jumps out of the bushes and grabs it. And him and another guy get on it, and they wrestle him to the ground. And he said, "This is how you do it." I said, "I want no part of that." Because a kudu, their curls match up exactly with their eye. And when they fight, they put their horn down, and they look with their eye straight through that you're talking still a 400 plus immature bull that can absolutely mess you up. I mean, I'm not going to go grab him alive. I mean,
I've always wanted to see Lathan grab a big old buck,
go for a ride.
Yeah.
But the power is, my kudu bull, I have him on a pedestal, and the tip of his horns from my carpet is 7'11" and a half. But in real life, he'd be about a foot taller than that. People have no idea how. I mean, it's like walking up to a moose. I've never done. My uncle shot one, but they're just huge. Yeah, I mean, he said, we field dressed this moose, and its heart was bigger than a basketball. Like, it's just. I would never ever do anything like that in that video. No way.
He also, same guy, likes those little Debbie Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Yeah,
I do like the Christmas trees.
Now, sometimes
on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you say?
Christmas trees are like a 74.
So let's argue this: the Christmas tree and the zebra cake are basically the same thing.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Different sprinkles.
Yeah,
sprinkles and stripes.
That's what I mean. They put some color on there, cut it different.
I'm not a fan of the sprinkles.
I'm not either.
I'm
not either.
I'm not.
Listen, if there are any waterfowlers that are watching this, and you find a box of the jumbo Christmas trees, have you seen the boxes of the jumbo ones?
No,
they're not everywhere, but they're about this big. They're huge, and there's like 6 in the jumbo box. This guy that's commenting on here may or may not have brought over boxes, if not cases, of those from Missouri.
Of the jumbo ones?
Oh yeah,
sounds like.
So we're talking a zebra
made up.
Oh yeah, huge, big. They're not everywhere.
Big.
I check the local grocery stores every time I'm in there during Christmas. And
periodically when we're talking about Africa, we got to talk about Little Debbie.
Sure, it matches.
That's right.
But I think the rest of that list would probably be like the Inyala and the bushbuck. I just have something.
What exactly is a bushbuck?
A bushbuck.
I sent you pictures.
Yeah.
Well, Kristen sent us pictures because those two.
A bushbuck is a little bit. They're about the size of probably a doe, 110, 120, 30 pounds.
They're pretty critters.
They live a lot of the time. Them and the Inyala live a lot by water sources. Not
they
just
have the
water
same.
hole.
No, those are water bucks.
Water bucks have the horns that do this. They come and they have a circle around their rear end. They have a white circle around there. So.
No, maybe it was bush bucks. Bush bucks have spear type horns.
Yeah, it spins, so it's spiral.
But it comes to a spear too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't remember what she said.
They're fast little critters too.
She was antiquing.
How many animals can you kill in Africa?
Every once in a while, I'll be.
Yeah. Is a zebra a prized animal?
We can kill it.
I am going to hunt a zebra.
Are you?
With my bow, ground stock. Yeah.
And those are a prized animal. I mean, are they? I mean,
yeah. My uncle shot one the last time. It was one of his bonus animals. He shot after he shot his 4. You still have days. Xander will come, or a guide will come and say, "Is there anything else?" Or, we drove around. My uncle was rifle hunting. We drove around for 3 hours chasing a herd of 250 zebras before he was even able to get out of the truck to make a stalk with a rifle. So. I mean, normally you just chase their dust. I mean, they're pretty, and they can, and everybody's like, well, how can a zebra hide? I promise you can walk right by them. Some of that stuff is really thick, but they're just smart. It's like a smart old buck. Like they don't just.
I feel like there's got to be people that's got questions in relation to Africa.
Yeah. Team Zebra Cake.
Josh. I think one of the bigger deals is touching on that point that everybody thinks that it's out of my price range. I could never do it.
So what's it going to cost you? Let me ask you that.
Wait a minute. Before you do that, how many animals are you going to bring home? You're going to bring home 4.
At least 4.
At least
4.
So this is you're going to spend this money and come home with probably 4 animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much guaranteed 4 animals, right?
You're that far over there with having the option of using a gun if you have to. Yeah. You can. He just has so many acres. He's so good at what he does. He's younger than us, not Jarrett, but he's younger than us, and runs a phenomenal phenomenal.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith.
So 4 animals.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute though, because what's that detail? That details the 4 animals you getting there and getting home.
Okay, so taxidermy and everything.
That does count.
No.
No, it doesn't
No.
include taxidermy.
Taxidermy is after. But
All right, so for 4 animals,
and getting there and getting back.
there and getting back, what are you going to be in?
Right at about
$7,500. And flight probably makes up close to half of that, doesn't it?
The flight doubled since 17. I think our flight was like 2,000. You have to add insurance on that, because if something were to happen, I mean, me and Lathan are pastors, stuff happens all the time.
Sure.
But I'm talking like with our family, you have to have that and the insurance is $150. That's depending on your age. Also, I didn't know that, but
So what do you do? Like if you go over there and you're there for 8 days, and then the first 3 you've killed all that you've done.
that happens all the time.
So what do you do for the rest of the days?
They have a swimming pool where he's going.
They do.
I ain't getting in there.
R&R.
Why?
The black mambas like to be in water. What it sounds like.
So around,
I actually call the pool Mamba Pool.
Yeah, I asked Xander the last time. So we come into this fence and there's a lock gate behind us, and he, obviously this is where we're staying. And I said, "What's with the razor wire on top of the fence?" There's no windows, no window panes, no glass. It's just open air, which is really awesome. And I said, "What's the razor wire for?" He goes, "Do you want to know that answer?" I go, "Yes, I think leopards. They keep leopards out, and they're not everywhere,
because leopards are mostly night hunters.
Very much.
Yeah, for the most part.
You hear it's really weird. Like yellow-billed hornbill is like on Lion King, because everybody can associate that. But Zazu, the bird, all day I have all this noise, and anyway.
So I guess you're gonna go swimming, huh?
I'll probably so.
Oh, he's taking his trunks.
So yeah, I am probably. So my uncle and I have 8 animals together, and then if there's anything extra, but we're gonna be there for 9 days. So, like I said earlier, they want to put you on a trophy animal. So if I don't see that animal, then we'll probably hunt together, and there could be sometimes that we would split up. Just he's rifle hunting. I mean, that's different. So so you would go to different places and different concessions of land. And I asked him, I said, I very much want to hunt free range. I don't want to shoot a high fence. And there are people that do that. It's just not my thing. I mean, it's totally legal. It's just not my thing. And anyway, I asked him, I said, "How many acres are we hunting here?" And he goes, "Well, it's about 3,500 acres. And I went, if you got permission to hunt 3,500 acres in Southern Illinois for deer, you're doing something crazy." But then he looked at me and he goes, "I'm sorry, I speak in metric. Those are hectaacres. That's 35,000 of your acres."
Wow.
So if you take the 8 concessions that we could have gotten on, that's 240 or 55,000 acres. So now you talk about a chunk of this county.
So that was the one concession. He has 8 of them.
They have access. So that's all dealing with them.
Wow,
like he has a friend. Like if you own a concession and
if I own a concession, I'd be selling zebra cakes.
There you go. There you go. So they have a lot of stuff like if Lathan has a bunch of, because they do run cameras on their water holes, because all these animals can move. And let's say there's a big stallion zebra that's regular, I can go to Lathan and say, "Hey," basically he's using my money that I've given him to buy that here on you, but also they keep.
Which is what you're saying was like a whole nother outfitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
yeah. And a lot of them work together. Some of them don't. But they do that quite regularly. And then, but like their conservation. So he has a book at his place that says we've killed 3 kudus. We've killed 4 Gims bucks. We need to kill 1 more. My uncle shot a zebra last time, and it was a concern for Xander because he said, "We don't know if we have enough food to support our herd for the winter." I mean, and it's harvesting animals strategically. And then I was given a red light after I was given a green light. I was going to shoot their little bitty. You know what a diker is? Deiker. Little bitty. You got straight horns like this. Little bitty, like a little bit bigger than maybe a fawn deer.
Wow.
And to me, I mean, I'm not a rich person, but I'm like, I can afford for that to be an extra animal.
I can afford a diker.
So he comes out, and of course they have
Or you
these
charge them by the pound.
little horns like this, and Xander says, I mean, very intently, because he knows what a big deer is, but I don't know what a big animal over there is unless he tells me. Right. And you have to trust. You have to go with a guy that you can trust, and I can't emphasize that enough. But this diker comes out to the water, and he goes, "Get your bow," and all of a sudden he's just going crazy on his phone, contacting the guy that we were on, and his question was, "How many dikers have we shot?" And he said, I'll never forget this. He was like this, and he just like slouched down, and he goes, "Hang your bow up." And I went, "Why? He's right there." And he goes, "We've already shot the limit on this concession of land." And he said, what really hurts is that's probably a half inch away from making the all-time book in South Africa. It really didn't. You know what I mean? It didn't mean it wasn't a 450-inch bull elk.
Had two horns
like
this.
Yeah, but but he's that. He could have benefited off that, yet he chose to go with the unwritten rule of this is what we need to take. The conservation.
So
side
they literally have a list, and they say this is what we can take and
off the concession. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. That's why you would go to different places. Like if all of us wanted to shoot a kudu, we would probably all go to the same spot, because you would be taking 4 mature bulls, and unless they had that to spare, you're talking about your breeders. You want to shoot a big mature whitetail, hoping that he's passed along his genetics. Right. Same thing as all of those. So, but yeah.
So you'll get there and back for saying now. The big question is, if you, what are you after? You said zebra,
blue wildebeest, Inyala, and bushbuck. And anytime you go with anything that says Inyala, spiral horns are more expensive of the plain game, because everybody wants the kudu. Everybody wants the spiral stuff. Is very popular.
Well, it's pretty.
No, they're a gorgeous animal. They call them the gray ghost, and they can literally hide. We were driving in a truck, and he said, "Did you see that kudu?" And he backed up, and there was a kudu cow standing off the road 8 feet, and I didn't even see her. And she stands there. And,
my question was, if you're going to go there and back though for 75-ish, then when you get back, what's it run you to get those back? Do they do the taxidermy there, or do they come back and they do the taxidermy?
We had them do the taxidermy there, because I could go over to my buddy Jason in Albion, who does my deer, but he has absolutely no clue,
frame of reference,
what an Inyala or
right
the type of skin they have.
Didn't know the anatomy of the animal and the features.
We're not sitters. I mean, we have deer camp. We do all of our own butchering, so we don't do well sitting. Like, we got back and all the skinners are going to work, and I said, "Well, I'll help." And he goes, "No." And I'm like, "I just want to help." He goes, "I'll show you in a second." And they were doing my uncle's zebra, and they caped it all out. And he said, "Let me show you why." And he had a halogen light on because it was dark. And 2 of those guys stretched that hide, and you can almost see through it. And when they did it, they had no nicks at all. They're so good at what they do, and very efficient, very fast. But
wow.
So you literally just go over there and just hunt.
Yeah.
That's it.
You hunt, eat, sleep, shower. My favorite thing about the whole trip is every single night is like the Thursday and Friday of Southern Illinois deer season for deer camp for shotgun hunters. They're huge family driven. So they have a braai every night. And a braai is they have this wood over there, ironwood, something like that, but it burns very, very slowly. And he lights the fire, and you guys have, you're just talking around a campfire, and then pretty soon he says, "Are you ready to eat?" Yeah. Well, he'll hit the top of it with a shovel, and the ashes will fall to the bottom, and he'll rake the other fire over, and he'll take the ashes, the hot coals, and he'll throw it in a little concrete box with expanded steel across it, and that's the grill. And I mean, you're outside all the time, and sharing stories about. We got to talk with Liana's uncle, who's been involved with this business for a long time, and the stories that he had about Cape Buffalo, I could have listened to him all day about just crazy encounters. He had a Cape Buffalo takeout. It charged his backhoe. Like he was making a road and it charged his backhoe. Like it charged the bucket. And I said, "What'd you do?" He goes, "I left." I said, "Why?" He goes, "If he would have come around to the side and they were able to gang up on him," he goes, "they could have flipped it."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'd say 2 or 3 of them for sure probably could.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, bears push down trees with their head. People don't know that. I mean, they're not white oaks in the bottoms, but yeah.
But you never did like to get them done there and ship them back. Now, how much are you in?
I would
guys
say
are going to be, because some people, but you don't have to have them done.
No.
But you at least want your like a euro.
Yeah, my taxidermy bill this time will be much cheaper than it was last time because I got my warthog European and then I got 3 shoulder mounts. So the Inyala and the bushbuck I'm getting shoulder mounted, but they're smaller.
Yeah.
The blue wildebeest I'm having it done European because I think they look awesome and they're going to tan the whole skin, and then my zebra will just be the skin. I think my uncle's rug is really, really, really close and knocking on the door of 10 feet long.
Really?
Yeah, they're big.
I think I seen it at I came to one of those fish fries your dad for the Christian church. Yeah, it was there. It was cool.
We didn't have any plans of doing that. That was just a bonus animal, and a zebra is not like shooting a kudu expense wise at all. And so I think,
is it expensive?
When we were there because we were already over there, $1,100-$1,200 to shoot
for a zebra.
Oh. And whenever I was over there,
drop it like it's hot.
One set of PJs made out of that thing.
Like you could get the.
You need a suit that you preach in. Zebra.
I have a Bible that I bought at a curio shop, a souvenir shop down there, and my uncle comes over and he goes, "You probably need to get this." And our dollar is worth so much there that it's cheap to us. It has giraffe skin, has an African continent that is cut out of zebra, and the leather binding is Cape Buffalo, and I bought the Bible for $7.50.
Yeah, but what translation was it?
It was New Living Translation. So,
well, there you go.
But the font is like 0.7. It's so small. But yeah, I would never preach out of it. But yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So you think you can get all those like mounted and brought back for what, like 2,000-3,000?
It'd probably be less than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Less than that.
Yeah. But
even shipping on them.
Probably. Yeah. We're gonna go ocean cargo freight instead of flying it back. We didn't have the option of the ocean stuff last time, and it takes a little bit longer, but you're waiting for a year to get a deer back anyway.
Right.
And so
that's interesting.
Yeah. So and people need to understand that I've taken like 7 years to save for this trip. It's not like I just go to the bank and write a check for, hey, let's go do that. It's something that I just wanted to do. I eventually want to go out west and shoot an elk, and I'll just get back and start saving again. So, but
how far out do you have to book and stuff like that?
He's normally we booked 2 years ago for this trip.
So, like, if I wanted to go here in 20 days, I'm out.
He's booked. Yeah, my bear guy.
But if we want to go in a couple of years,
a couple of years, 100%.
Do you put down a deposit?
Yep.
What's the deposit?
I was going to say,
I put down $1,200.
Oh yeah.
So do you decide on your animals there or before?
No, way
before.
Because you get the price. That deposit is directly. I mean, if you're going over to shoot an elephant in a Cape Buffalo, it's not $1,200. So, you're talking.
Can I get my deposit back?
You're talking about 160 or 70,000.
What's a Cape Buffalo run?
And I think they're probably. I mean, I don't even look at that page. I mean,
ain't your uncle? He's kind of got his heart set.
He would love to. He turns 65 this year, and I told him he needs to do it as a birthday present to himself. But then birthday. There's also like we're there, and we're repeat customers, and it's not like he's just going to give it to us for free, but he might cut a little bit off. So I have no idea what he would offer. But you can go to a couple places that's a one-on-one guide. You're shooting buffalo and you have like 12 days to do it, and it's like $12,000. But you're also shooting something that is, I mean, if you got 12 days, you're going to see big stuff like big Dugga boys. Dugga boys is the bull that they push out of the herd. They're old, they're cranky, they don't breed anymore, but they're the epitome of shooting an 8-year-old 6-point. They're old, they're smart. They don't like you at all. But
I'm not sure any of that stuff likes you.
No.
I just don't want to spend the money and go over to kill a Cape buffalo and find out that I accidentally paid to kill like an ape buffalo, something that isn't even real,
Yeah.
Like somebody just took my money.
That's where you want to do a little research.
Yeah.
That's where like someone like where you've been over there, you can suggest. You can
Absolutely.
be like, definitely go to these guys.
Well,
Yeah,
100,000%. Yes.
And they're
if you're going to
Christians, you
kill
said.
something
Yes.
with somebody, I mean, the name's Xander.
Yes.
That's a tough
That holds
name.
a little weight just in and of itself.
He's, obviously it's totally different than a bear hunting guide or a waterfowl hunting guide. They're just take on their own on what they do, but this dude knows so much.
So he's over it,
Yeah, he owns it.
but they have lots of locals that are actual guides and trackers and skinners.
Where in that part of South Africa, it's very, very arid. Looks a lot like Texas. They have oak trees, but they're more like the live oaks. They're not white. They're not tall.
Right.
But there's lots of
Like oak brush.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was very weird with my perception of how big these animals were, because I saw my Gims buck come around a corner of a tree and he's 75% as tall as the tree. And I'm thinking, holy cow, this thing's like 1,000 pounds. Well, he wasn't. He's still 400 or 500, but it's just the landscape will mess with you about.
Right. There's hard to judge things.
Yeah.
But so he's over it, but like the locals, wouldn't you say there's trackers?
He hires his own personal PHs, his professional hunters. So yeah. So
So
and there is gratuity, and like I said, that hunt in Africa, if you just wanted to go over and shoot, say you have $1,000.
That's what was going to be my next question. Can I just go over and shoot one animal?
You can, but
or
then
are they like, well, if you're coming over,
they really don't. I mean, it's not just the money for them. It's you're traveling 6,000 miles. You don't have this opportunity where you live. Why not make the most of it while you're here?
Yeah, because most of the animals are not that expensive.
No. When you get away from the Big Five, the Dangerous Seven, and the Plains game, I don't know what it is now. When we went in 2017, if I saw a hyena, I was going to shoot it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
$50.
Really? Wow.
I had a friend that said he wanted to go with me, and he said, "I'll hand Xander $1,000, and he can just tell me when my $1,000 is burnt. I'm just going to shoot hyenas." Obviously, they are a nighttime. They have lots of porcupines.
I did some video work one time for, and I won't say the guy's name because he probably wouldn't appreciate it, but we went in this guy's house, and it was like, dude, it was like walking into Wild Kingdom. I walk in, and I mean, as you walk in the door, the first thing you see is this lion standing up on his back legs, like he's coming at you. And right beside him is a lioness that is kind of crouched down. And I'm like,
yeah,
I thought I walked into like a billionaire's house or something. Yeah. Which I mean, I might have.
Yeah.
But, and then we go into his dining room, and all the legs for his table were elephant's feet.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I went into his study, and he had a Cape buffalo in there. And like right when I walked into his study, there was a hyena sitting there.
Yeah.
And I mean, all of them, like the Cape buffalo was a shoulder mount.
Yeah.
The lions were full body mounts.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the guy definitely spent some money.
Yeah.
So.
I was joking with my wife, and I told her, he caught me drawing the bow through double mesh. There's a little window, but somehow they're just smart. Baboons are very smart. And I was going to shoot one. and he came in, and I was going to shoot it, and my wife says, "What were you going to do if you shot it?" I said, "Well, I've always wanted a life-size Rafiki of Lion King in our house, but I want to mount him standing up where he's doing this, and I want to put candy bowls for Halloween. We'll just set him on the porch." And she ixnayed that so fast because she said that she claimed that I would have hidden that in rooms that were black until somebody turned the light on. I mean, probably right.
I would have for sure.
Yeah, but there are absolutely 100% animals that you can go over. Impalas aren't expensive. Zebras are not expensive. You can do this hunt. I just got something. I mean, you guys, like we were talking with elk the other day. It gets in your blood about shooting those animals.
Yeah.
I just love those spiral horns. I think they're cool. They're more expensive, but it just took me longer to save up. And I don't.
So if a guy's got $5,000, is he in the realm?
Probably. And I mean, you're not going to be shooting anything crazy. But warthog, zebra, impala, you add one more and you got plains game, and right there you're at about $2,200.
Yeah.
But when I checked
go?
So for the guy watching, if you're watching at home,
go.
Yeah,
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
It's happening.
All you have to do is just say it.
Yeah.
And then plan it.
Yeah.
Save it and go.
I'd go. Do it.
I'd go.
I have a very special relationship with my uncle. My dad doesn't hunt. He was a butcher for 35 years and bivocational pastor, but he doesn't hunt. But my uncle kind of got me into this. He doesn't have any kids of his own. Kind of took me and my cousin and my sister in as kids, and we shared the common bond. And when I graduated college, he said, if you can put back $10 a week, put back $10 a week or whatever you can save. And whenever you get enough, we'll go on a bear hunt to Canada. And we did that. And probably my favorite part of the entire hunt, the harvesting animals, is the icing. That's the okay, cool.
Sure.
When you shot a bull, that's the cool.
It's always the memories.
Getting there, the stories, it's crazy. We flew from Chicago to Amsterdam and then Amsterdam south, all over the whole continent. We flew over the Sahara Desert going like 700 miles an hour for like 3 hours. It was just sand. It's beautiful. It looked hot, but
probably wouldn't want to be down there.
But getting there. But he did that, and my uncle has shot 4 caribou in northern Nunavut, Quebec, and he's been to Newfoundland, shot a moose, and he's killed like 8 or 9 bears and all these things, and he's killed 2 elk. And it's just one of those things where it's money that I'm doing just extra stuff. And some weeks it was $5, and some weeks it might have been 20. My wife asked me the other day, my birthday's in May, a little bit after Lathan's, and I said, she said, "Do you want me to give your birthday present before you go on your trip?" I said, "Yes," because I always know that. She said, "Here, just add it to your little fund." And it's something that I like to do. There's people that like to go to Montana and fly fish. That's not cheap, but you just got to find something that you want to. You can go out of state to turkey hunt on public land. The whole trip won't cost you $500.
Yeah.
I mean, people just need to. You guys did the DIY stuff, and you just need to go experience something.
You got to start.
Well, a lot of people ask us what our elk trip cost.
Yeah.
And me and Lathan both killed nice bulls. And by the time we saved up aluminum, to help pay for to help pay for our gas.
Yeah, basically got our gas to drive out there.
Sure.
And by the time we were all in, we had spent about $1,100 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So
with the taxidermy and everything?
Well, there's no taxidermy yet.
So. Okay. I haven't taxidermized any of
them.
Yeah. These are the 2 that you just killed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was thinking earlier, that was our 4th time.
It was.
Going.
And
you can't hardly count the first one we went guided.
Yeah.
So it was our 3rd time.
Unguided.
Just doing it ourselves.
And the other 2 times we still
almost
really close to killing.
Had close encounters. And I think people, it's like with Africa, you get the frame of mind, well, if I'm going to go to Africa, I need $15,000 to $18,000, $20,000, and you could go for 6 to 7 and have a good time.
Other than
it's the same way with elk hunting. You can go elk hunting for a lot less than what people think you're going to spend 4 to.
Right.
I think people think when we go, man, them guys are going out there and spending $7,000 every year they go, and that's not the case.
Right.
Yeah, they probably don't realize that we saved aluminum for the last year trying to.
Yeah.
You know,
And I could have done, without having COVID and all that stuff. I could have went on this trip 4 years ago if I wanted to shoot certain animals.
Mhm.
I just had in my mind, I want to shoot
The
this
spiral
animal. Yeah,
horns,
I think that's so.
So
just
if you
cool.
go over there this time and you get those 2, you're done on the spirals.
No,
Oh,
I'll have to go back. I need 3. I need an eland.
3 more.
Yeah, I need the eland. Would be my 4th.
How many spiral bucks are there?
4. There's 4 spiral horn animals in Africa.
and they call it a slam.
They call it the slam.
The spiral slam.
Spiral horn.
Can you get the slam in one trip?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's guys that go over and get a lot more than that in one trip.
I want to
gonna
do
do
it.
it?
I want to do it.
There's
Oh,
a
slam.
Slam dunk.
There's guys
Just
that
made about 15,000.
yeah. There's guys that do that, and and a lot of that is not regular guys. Some of that's corporate stuff, and it's business trips,
Yeah.
and they can spend 3 weeks there and shoot 25 animals. That's absolutely happens.
corporate.
I mean, you know what I mean? Business write-off, trips like that. So,
Mhm.
but you don't have to. And people are thinking, oh goodness, he's a preacher. He's spending that much money. None of that. Anybody that comes over to our house and says anything about the animals, Mary's like, he doesn't take any money out of our budget. He just extra work.
Yeah.
And I would just set my mind to it. I guess I'm just too stubborn to stop.
Here's my mindset. It's none of their business, anyways.
Well, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
This is really not the place for it, but I'm going to say it anyways, because to me, there's so many people that throw out the mindset of, well, he's a preacher.
Right.
Why in the world would that matter? Well, he's a welder. He shouldn't be able to go to Africa.
Yeah.
And kill it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that is the biggest nonsense I've ever heard to me.
It's just it's probably people that aren't associated in the realm of living a spiritual life like we do either, that don't understand and whatever. But
you get a salary like anybody else though, and you should be able to spend it where you want to spend it. So.
I do.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of this, they need to know that they can go.
Absolutely.
And it don't set you back. Maybe, $7,500 is not just throw around money.
No.
But if you, in this day and age, anybody can put that back in a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, if you
really want to go,
if you, with you mow.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's what's going through my mind right now.
If you're doing, if you have a job,
can I help you mow?
If you have a job, I actually thought about contacting Jared about being a little side hustle on the mower, but you just have to get it in your head.
I said it first.
Yeah. Okay. I have a bigger zero turn.
Got me there. I have no money.
So like, my uncle told me, he said, I'm around guys that are retired. And he goes, at the end of the day, we're both gonna die. And if you choose to leave money to whoever, and you leave money to whoever, he said, he gets asked like, why are you gonna go somewhere else? And he said, you can never take those memories from me.
Yeah.
The experience, go out there and not shoot an elk. I've heard stories with tons of laughter. About Wes sliding off the mountain on a sleeping bag. Just go. Like, just set your mind.
Yeah, that'll be ingrained in my mind for the rest of my life.
Like you in the United States. In the United States, you can go south, and you can find a guy that will be glad to let you shoot hogs.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to use a rifle. You can use whatever you want, and just find something out of state that you want to do. Set your mind to it. Talk to the people. You have to understand who that outfitter is, and then,
I'd really in our shop, I would like to set up some sort of almost like a group of outfitters that we say, yeah, that's a pretty good,
absolutely good idea.
Because I feel like there's a lot of guys that would like to, and they're all the time like, yeah, but who do I go with?
If somebody's listening and they say, I would love to shoot a black bear, I will tell you that he's not the cheapest. But over the last 3 years, he's carried over a 7-foot average, and he's already 3 years out, which tells me that if I wanted to go do that again, I could book with my deposit, and I have the 3 years.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you
X
could
amount of
do.
dollars.
I mean, they say in business there's fast, there's quality, and then there's cheap.
Yeah.
So you could even have a scenario where it's like we've got good, better, best.
Absolutely.
You know,
I've
these guys will get you on animals, and it will be cheap, but you're probably not going to kill the quality that you want, or
I've been on a waterfowl hunt that we had great success, but I just wouldn't go back with them.
Yeah.
The relation style stuff, it wasn't the best.
And that's pretty important.
Big deal. You're
you
there
don't
for a week. Yeah.
You don't want to set with somebody that you're trying to figure out whether they're dead or alive. You know?
But I do. Smells like a warthog or something.
Yo. Like rotten soybeans produce methane, and that's a wicked bad smell.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Are you
really? It's one of the worst things I've ever smelled.
Bad, man. I saw a man get doused in rotten soybeans one time.
Did he keep his lunch?
It was bad for everybody.
Mm.
We were working on a farm, and there was a grain leg that the pit was flooded.
Yep.
And it was full of soybeans, and water got in it. And of course, they all fermented and soured and rotted.
Ugh.
And then we were getting in there to clean it and work on it. And the farmer went around a corner and throwed the switch, and the leg kicked on, and it just started dumping that all over him. I laughed.
I can top that one, but nobody wants to hear that story.
But like I've been, and I'm not the
sewage,
and I'm not the only one in this area that's ever done this or gone anywhere to hunt. But that's a great idea, because we've been on really good bear hunts. The bear hunt guy, the bear guide that we went with, you don't bear hunt till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you stay in your stand until about 11 p.m. because it's in June. It's so light so long, and you wake up about 8 or 8:30 because you're up late. You eat breakfast, and then you have a boat, motor, and gas to go catch northern pike and walleye.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Like the last time we were up there on the 5th day, I had my uncle. I said, "Now cast by that weed bed over there," and he caught a northern pike. And I said, "Make sure you get that one in the boat." Well, he didn't know was I was keeping track of how many fish we had caught. And when he got that fish in the boat, I said, "That's number 1,000."
1,000 fish?
1,000. So we averaged 200 fish a day.
Huh.
Not big, not all big. And then we caught some really good slammers. But yeah, it's, but you could go, I guarantee you go up there and you catch 500 fish.
That was in Canada?
Yeah. Northeastern Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I've heard Canada, it's just nuts on fishing.
He said you can fish for a 20-pounder, but we call it catching. You're going to catch fish, and they're so aggressive. But like, that waterfowl guides, I have a couple I have 3 that I would be glad to give you. They're great people. They work very hard. You have a great time. And
I was up in northern Wisconsin one time, and it's so funny. I wanted so bad to catch a walleye.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we were on a missions trip, and it's hilarious because we were supposed to be out having quiet time, and everybody was having quiet time. And I was like, I'm going to have quiet time, and I'm also going to cast this out. So I casted it out, and I'm just sitting there. And about that time, I mean, wham, he hits it, and it jerked the rod right out of my hand. And I was like, well, I guess I should have had quiet time.
Yeah. Some people call that karma. I call that God.
Reaping what you sow.
Yes. Yes.
Stay quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's other animals over there, like the wildebeest and the zebra, the impala, the warthog. That could be a package, and you bundle that with him. You work out a price, and and they're just.
I want to hear more about your uncle's moose. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, moose is high up on my.
He shot a Newfoundland moose. Of course, they're not Yukon. They're a lot smaller, but he shot one, and there was an option. Obviously, you got this big bull down. Regardless of antler size, you have a bull moose down.
Right.
he he sent me this picture. I said, "How in the world did you get that back to base camp?" Because I mean, Newfoundland is rough.
Yeah.
He shows me this picture. He goes like this. He paid for an option that the guy GPS'd him, sent a line down, and took it out with a helicopter. He has a picture of his bull moose flying. Yeah. I said, "How much was it?" And he told me. I said, "Absolutely worth it. 100% worth it." And like in Caribou, the migration didn't come by them, but he was with some guides that said it's X amount of dollars, but we are going to fly you to the Caribou. And he said like National Geographic stuff. My uncle's house is unbelievable.
Yeah, you heard Craig's story about the Caribou.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like 20 hours on a gravel road.
I said, no, we didn't. Like my uncle was eating one day and they were getting ready to leave camp and fly back. And the doors open and these guys come in and they roll out a Team Realtree rug and Michael Waddell steps in. They were hunting at the same place. Yeah. Pretty down to earth dude.
Pretty awesome, man. We should have had you bring a mount in so we could see it.
I thought about bringing the warthog, especially. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
Should have brought it.
All of the so they when that comes back in a crate. No, it's all Euroed. But like the kudu horns and the Gimsbuck horns, they boil the skull. They cape it out. They boil the skull, and then they have about this 3 or 4 inches of stub bone. And when they do that, the horns get loose, and they saw off the bone. But all of my horns detach for travel. So they all came back to us wrapped in bubble wrap, and they screwed into the box this way. They're playing like animal Tetris when we got this box back. But both of our boxes with all of our mounts fit with a ratchet strap in the back of my uncle's 1500 Chevy. So it's just, they do a great job. I mean, so
Chevy.
I have a GMC. and may I say it's a 2005.
That's because you like to go to Africa.
That's right. Priorities, dude.
Priorities.
Gets me A to B.
There you go.
Well, you've inspired us.
Yeah, I want to go.
I'm inspired.
We have to set our minds now.
Yeah. Xander he's.
Would you go back a third time?
Yes.
He
has to go back a third
to get
time.
his slam.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's setting it up.
Did you even listen to him?
I was daydreaming.
He was over
If
there.
I save up enough the next time, though, I might see what Xander's price would be on an Eland Cape Buffalo. But I probably would do that in my 50s.
Oh, to go get a cape and an Eland.
Yeah. That's a lot of weight. Yeah. That's pushing 4,000 pounds.
Man, Cape Buffalo, dude.
That would be awesome.
Like the front to back of their bosses.
I bet you could skin a Cape Buffalo.
I bet I could what?
I bet you could skin a Cape Buffalo.
I could.
Their hide is not thin enough to read through.
No.
I'd say no.
No.
I've held some Cape Buffalo leather. It's thick.
That would be a place for my whitetail Gerber. Gator grip. Shave with it.
Where'd the edge go on that bad boy?
Yeah. Now the edge goes away when you go through a warthog. So you're initially, through leather, through bone, through leather, and it hits the sand. I could have brought that broadhead in here, and you could have grabbed the broadhead, and it would not have done anything to you. But that's what we were talking about with him earlier. I was looking at that 2-blade that he shoots, and I shot Montex last time, G5 Montex, and I did that because I could resharpen them there.
Yeah.
So I could burn one into the target, and that'd be my target broadhead. But if I got low, I know that I could still resharpen that dude and go right back out. So
that's interesting. Yeah. All right.
Been a good one.
It has. We appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you asking me.
We appreciate all the people that have tuned in. Man, there's been a gob of people this evening that have tuned in, both on Facebook and on YouTube. We want to make sure we say thank you guys to you who have tuned in. And once Matt gets back, we plan on having him back on.
Follow it up.
Yeah, he's taking some.
I'm taking the painted arrow.
Yeah. Taking painted arrow.
See if I can get some archery kill shots.
You may have Yeah, you may have some video, and you could bring something in so we could show it off.
Yeah, I'm up from my previous trip. That won't be done yet, but yeah, I could bring
warthog in.
My warthog.
Well,
that'd be awesome.
We'd love to set it on the table, show it.
They make so they don't waste anything when you cape cape the animal, so off the tail of a gemsbuck is really bushy, almost like a horse.
Yeah.
And they make so they split the tail and inserted wood, and then they sewed it back up, and like you just I'm sorry like you whisk they like dust with it.
Let's hope you don't whisk with it.
No, I mean like just they would dust with it.
What are you cooking over there? Eggs.
I like my eggs extra gemsbuck.
That's right. Yeah. And it's that real coarse hair.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that was at camp, and she said, or if your kid misbehaves, you just kind of like a fly swatter. We used to get the fly swatter. They would get gemsbuck.
I think it'd be awesome for a fly swatter.
Yeah.
Gemsbuck on the
flies
back.
around the house.
Yeah.
Showed him.
I've got a couple things I can bring in.
Well, you'll bring them in on the next one.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
That's
how many days out?
I leave in less than 30.
Oh, so you're about there. So
Yeah.
that'll be a couple months from now. We'll have a follow up.
Sure.
Yep. That sounds great. So
Super great.
all right. Next week, well, we might just surprise you. So but for this week, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share. It always helps us out, and we appreciate it. So we appreciate you guys turning in, and this has been Up for Discussion. We will catch you next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.